in the heart of the River Kingdoms lies an old Pathfinder lodge, once thought lost. A lodge shrouded in secrecy and mystery, driving many to believe that its goals are not that of exploration, but of more nefarious purposes. Recently, an unknown venture captain has reopened the lodge and recruited a new group of Pathfinder agents to do its bidding. Whether their goals are to benefit the society or something much more sinister is yet to be seen. Welcome to Tales from the Black Lodge.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat Tales from the Black Lodge. I'm your GM and host, Steve Englicker, and in this week's episode, we start a brand new tale, Lodge of the Living God, with a brand new special guest. This week, we have Jefferson J. Thacker, also known as Perram, from the No Direction Network, joining us in this madness, I tell you. So this is a really weird week for me. First of all, Gen Con was online, which was fun. Don't get me wrong. I definitely enjoyed Gen Con online, but it definitely wasn't the same thing. I beyond missed going to Gen Con. I love Gen Con. Yeah, it's a total monstrosity, and there's a billion people there, and it's gotten way too big these last few years, but I don't care. I love it. I love going to Gen Con. I get to see everyone and hang out. It's just an awesome time. I look forward to it all year long. So when this was canceled, it's like every holiday in the world was canceled together. Take all your favorite holidays. Take Christmas. Take Halloween. Take summer vacation. You name it. Put it all together and then cancel it. Now, I get it. The world's in a bad place, and we couldn't have done it. I mean, have you been to Gen Con? Well, even if you haven't been to Gen Con, you can imagine what it's like with 100,000 people smushed together, and the convention hall is so crowded at times that it takes you 30 minutes to go 100 feet. So, of course they couldn't have Gen Con. Everyone knew that. But that doesn't mean it wasn't disappointing to have it canceled. Now, PaizoCon getting canceled, that also stung really bad, because I actually kind of thought they might do PaizoCon, because PaizoCon is much smaller, it's really spread out. Hopefully they can get their act together and do it next year. I think with social distancing and masks in place that you actually could do PaizoCon next year. So what does the future hold? Who knows? I've been checking out all the cons I usually go to. I go to PAX Unplugged, I go to PaizoCon, I go to Gen Con. I was actually going to go to Origins this year. I was going to actually start increasing the number of cons I was going to go to. This was the year that I was going to start going to more conventions, and of course I ended up going to none. But at least something was done online. I know a lot of people got to play the special. This is the first time I didn't run the special for Gen Con in, I can't even remember, 10 plus years. Not only did I not run it, but I didn't even participate in it because I was busy that Saturday. I'm actually kind of upset. I want to know what happened. I didn't even get to read the adventure. So if someone can tell me what happened, I'd be very curious to know what happened in the Pathfinder and the Starfinder adventure. I run every year. I run the Pathfinder and the Starfinder adventures, the specials at Gen Con. It's my favorite thing. In fact, I used to run like everything like anyone would, but I've gotten to the point that I just run the specials and only the specials, and that's all I do. And I really look forward to it, but I couldn't do it this year. Maybe next year, even if it's online, I'll try to schedule a little bit ahead of time and do it. Of course, we got to play our game with Luis Loza. This is the same crew, the Black Lodge crew, and we did a quest, and I added some more gambling into the quest. If you're starting to notice a theme, is that the Gen Con game had gambling, the PaizoCon game had gambling, the first game with Eric Amona had gambling. I kind of like having gambling in my games. It's it's just fun. It's a fun little distraction. And if you get a good game going, it's very interesting to see how people get swept up into the gambling, because gambling just has that effect on people. And when you have a combination of a game within a game, I always find that fun. The play within a play, the TV show within a TV show, anything like that always fascinates me. So I always like the game within the game. In fact, I'm going to try to figure out for next PaizoCon or Gen Con or whatever, do a game within a game within a game. That is what I'm going to try to do, somehow to get it multiple layers, sort of get an Inception vibe, but for role-playing. Few other things going on. I am out of power. That's right, the Northeast was hit by a storm, and I thought it was going to be a nothing thing, and yet everyone in this area is out of power. So I managed to grab my laptop, and I had to spend several days getting all the software and everything from my desktop onto my laptop so I can actually edit and make the show happen on time. And good thing I did, because I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and nothing quite like a blackout to force you to make your podcast work on a remote laptop to get you going. So this is coming to you live from a hotel room in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know where I am right now. So if it sounds a little different, that's why I'm in a different room. That also means the video portion of the podcast, the YouTube portion, might be a little late, because I managed to get everything set up on my laptop except the video editing suite. Unfortunately, I did not have that all in the cloud. I keep everything on the cloud for backup reasons and also in case this happened. But the video stuff I don't, because it's a little too slow to keep on the cloud. I do the video all local, so I got to get that done. I'm going to have to figure out when that's going to go up. So that might go up when I get power back, which, who knows? The last time we got hit by a major storm, I lost power for over 2 weeks. I am hoping I'm not going to have to go 2 weeks without power this time as well. I also do want to mention that this Tales from the Black Lodge crew, we are going to be taking the same crew, and we are going to be running Agents of Edgewatch. Everyone rolled up their characters. They went very, very heavy into the APG, the Advanced Player's Guide, so you're going to see a lot of those options. I'd say almost every character was built either completely using those rules or mostly using those rules. So you're going to see a lot of new options, including new ancestries, feats, powers, you name it. Everything you can imagine, it's going to be in there. The other thing about this new adventure path is I've read most of them, and I will say I really wanted to run this one. I know it's controversial, but the adventure itself is so freaking good. The actual game mechanics and the adventure and the mystery and the dungeons and the monsters are so good. I couldn't resist. I'm actually heavily rewriting some of the rules on how the guards work and how loot works, because I feel the way it's set up is really poorly done. I'm actually shockingly poorly done. But the good news is I was able to talk it out with the fellers, and we figured out a nice alternative to make it flow within a story that they can still be kind of city guards, but to make sure they're always on the up and up, that they are being lawful, that they are doing the job as you would see in a traditional fantasy novel, of them actually being good guys and always being the good guys. And if there's any time that they even wander into bad guy territory, they will be dismissed from the guards. And we figured out a way to do this very realistically. So you're going to see, we're going to get into that, but it's going to work out pretty well, I think. And to be honest, here's the weirdest part about that adventure path. Very small portion of the adventure path has to do with the guards and this whole guard aspect. There's so much more to this adventure path. The mystery part, there's tons of social interaction. There's a lot of investigating crimes and figuring out clues and to investigate leads. It's so much more. I kind of am stunned they undersold those aspects of the adventure path. In fact, I would say the guard aspect takes up like 5% of the adventure path, and everything else is 95% of it is all that cool stuff. And this is the weirdest part of all. It is super, super hardcore horror. I mean, like the hardest of hardcore horror, which I like, and everyone on the show really enjoys quite a bit. Now, I'm not going to make it disgusting, and I'm not going to make it uncomfortable for anyone who listens to this. I try to make this a family show, but I am definitely going to keep that in the game, and I'm going to keep that in the show. I'm going to try to tone it down in pieces here and there. I am curious to hear what you think. I'm not going to do disgusting stuff, but there is some pretty serious topics they get into because it is about crime. And some of these crime scenes are quite disgusting and can be extremely disturbing. But we're going to start that in a few weeks and expect that to appear on the feed in the beginning to mid-September. Look for it there. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's going to be a big departure from anything you've probably ever heard before because it just goes in really interesting directions. It's unlike any adventure path I've ever run. The closest analogy is Kingmaker. Not that it has anything to do with Kingmaker, but so many people enjoy Kingmaker because it's just so different. It's something you've just never done before. You never get to see or do in an adventure path or a role-playing game. This is very similar, and that's why I really wanted to do it. You're doing stuff you just never get to do in an adventure path. And in a weird way, playing a truly good guy and being on the side of law and trying to take people in using non-violent methods and not always killing the bad guys and actually arresting them and bringing them to justice is something we've always wanted to try to do, but the system doesn't really lend itself well to that. Unfortunately, the crux of the game is you go hunt down monsters and bad guys, you kill them, you take their loot. So how do you change that? You'll see. We figured out a way that I think it's going to keep the integrity of the game while keeping the game mechanics of bringing people down, in this case a peaceful way, and getting loot and rewards to make it all work. I'm very excited. So quick show notes. Don't forget, do check out Jason's reviews. He just did a review of Lost Omens Legends. He did one of the Advanced Player's Guide. You can see all of that on rollforcombat.com. Do check out our Patreon if you want to actually listen to us playing this. If you want to hear us, just $10 and you can get a private link, and whenever we're playing, you can actually hear the new adventure path from day one, from the very beginning. You're going to be weeks, if not months ahead of what is posted on the podcast channel. That's right. But for $5, you get the podcast early. So that's all you need to do. Also, don't forget our Discord channel. We're almost up to 300 games. As always happens after Gen Con or these conventions, a huge number of people want to play more games. So I've been going in there, going crazy, adding more games left and right, game after game. It's just been crazy. So check that out. But this has been a long intro. I thought it was going to be a short one because I'm in a hotel room. Anyhow, with that, let's get to this week's new exciting episode. So once again, we are here with the crew of Tales from the Black Lodge. Once again, we're here with Mr. Peepers, Nella, Thorgrim, and Nixnox, and a new special guest, someone we've been trying to get on the show for a long time, but have not been able to until very recently because they are very busy with a billion things and then some. But we're recording this right after PaizoCon online, and suddenly this person doesn't have as much to do. And that person is Perram. Welcome, Perram, to Tales from the Black Lodge.
It's good to be with you. And yeah, I thought that this whole thing was cursed, but you had a readied action to surprise attack me immediately after the con.
That's true. It was right after the con, and I'm like, you can't possibly be busy now. You are done. So could you play for a little while? And you're like, yeah, sure, why not?
And now that he knows the secret, he's going to be asking you every single year after every big event.
No, I've been asking for a while, but things come up, and
yeah,
he has a recording schedule. We have a recording schedule. It's hard. It's hard to get the celebrities on the show, right?
Yeah.
But with that, let's go around the horn and introduce everyone to the infamous Black Lodge, starting with the most infamous one of all, Mr. Peepers. Lady Luck, they call him, because he seems to fall into it every single time.
Hi there, my name is John Statson. I am playing Mr. Peepers, and I had one good episode where I hit a lot of crits, and that's why they're referring to Mr. Peepers' luck. So normally he has a hard start in a lot of these adventures, but he had some luck. In case you didn't know, Mr. Peepers has earned a reputation for finding trouble where there shouldn't be any. He's someone with no sense of self-preservation. He is happiest when starting over with a clean slate, and he's looking forward to the new adventure.
And then, of course, we have everyone's favorite animal lover, Nella. Hello, Nella.
Hello, the falsetto was an interesting choice. My name is Jason McDonald. I play Nella Amberleaf, a half-elf druid of the Wild Shape School. Still working on the whole wild shape thing. Right now, all I can do is kind of turn into small animals. So most of my antics are lighting things on fire and hitting them with a stick. And I am surprisingly easy to get on the show because I'm pretty much always here.
And then, of course, we have Thorgrim the Lion. You would not know it, but he's supposedly a champion, although I think they're making a new character class called Chicken.
As you know, a lion is known for its bravery and lack of cowardice, and so Thorgrim Stout Brew exhibits all of these characteristics. Dwarven champion redeemer of Iomedae, and he is looking to mete out truth, justice, and the Pathfinder way.
And then, of course, we have Nix Nox, not the goblin. Not a goblin. Nix Nox looks like a goblin, smells like a goblin, acts like a goblin, but he's actually made of fire.
Yeah, I'm wondering, does he actually smell like a goblin, or does he smell like a burning ember?
Brimstone.
Or like old cigarettes? He might.
Describe him as goblin.
Nix Nox, creature of magic, wizard's pet turned adventurer.
Actually, that could be the cologne, goblin.
Yeah, that's true, goblin. Oh my god, what a great cologne. Goblin.
Goblin-esque.
Goblin-esque. He is a creature of fire and a creature of shadow, a sorcerer who wields flames and the power of electricity to burn his enemies. And I think that's it. And that's it.
That's it. And then we have the special guest, Perram, who is running. Oh man, I'm very curious to hear about this character. What are you running today?
Also known as Jefferson J. Thacker, and I will be playing Ducker Shade. It's good to meet y'all. I'm the protector of the neighborly and the assaulter of the ain't up to no good.
Ducker is his name?
It's Ducker Nightshade, but you can just call me Duck if you want to.
Oh boy, you guys are in trouble now. You got a good old boy with you. Although isn't Ducker a halfling?
Sure is. 3 foot 6 inches and proud of every pound on it.
All right. Well, we've got I've got a cousin. How you doing, cuz?
I'm doing just perfect. Evidently, I'm supposed to keep y'all out of trouble and at least partially breathing.
Oh, we're always out of trouble. We don't know how to find trouble if we wanted to find trouble. We don't even know how to do that. So I think you got an easy run with us.
Ha!
That's good. I enjoy a nice neighborly stroll through the countryside.
Oh boy.
Hopefully we'll be going through the countryside, Steven.
Does the water sound like countryside? Every single adventure
no more
seems
water.
to be water-based. Will it happen once again? We will see. Now, as we all know, all adventures have to start somewhere. So let's see where this adventure starts.
No way. On the water again. Really?
Are we going out to the water again?
Guys, just, it's a meta thing. It's always, there's going to be water in every adventure. Just
Good thing you took that feat.
I have to change my whole attitude about it. I have to start thinking to myself. You know what I have to do? I have to start channeling one of those deep sea vents. Those volcanic vents,
Right.
Where the water and the fire mix, into a pyroclastic fury that I have to start embracing that. I have to be more water.
You need to be a steam goblin is what you need to be.
But the minute we actually start building our characters in the direction of water adventures, we'll never do a water adventure again.
Oh, that's true. We'll be in a desert immediately.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
The next 10 adventures will be in volcanoes. Yay!
So, this adventure, you begin as passengers on board a ship, the Queen of Elysium, a river sloop that's headed for the hamlet of Prophet's Rest in southern Rasmiri. You have been traveling for quite some time on the water, and you were given 2 letters relating to your mission. One was a mission briefing from Venture Captain Hallgren Smile. He's a dwarven smith. And then another one is from the Envoys Alliance faction leader, Folin Bernard. And if someone wants to look at those and read out loud so our listeners know what the heck you guys are doing here, feel free.
Take a crack at it. My ciphering's pretty good.
Go for it.
Alrighty, this one's from old Mr. Smine, the first letter we get. It says, "Greeting Pathfinders. I was recently contacted by a high-ranking priest of the so-called God of Rasmiri with an intriguing but troublesome offer. He claims to have his government's permission to help us set up the first Pathfinder Lodge in the nation of Rasmuran. As Pathfinders have been banned from Rasmuran ever since 50-odd years ago, the possibility of once again having access to that land is one we just can't ignore. But I don't trust the theocratic Rasmiri government. All they care about is praising the name of their fake god and keeping the common people poor and ignorant while they live all high in the hog. Though I can't imagine that they see the society as anything but a nuisance, the agreement they offer seems reasonable. Despite my misgivings, I've ordered the investigation of the proposed location. I've chartered your passage on a ship headed to Rasmiri to meet this high-ranking priest in the village of Prophet's Rest, a hamlet on the Glass River just west of Zur. The priest's name is Narson, and he's expecting you. Help secure the location of the lodge, make any necessary repairs, and hire some locals to help you hold it for the next month or so while I organize a more permanent staff. I'm sending you a significant sum of cash to pay the local workers, buy any construction, and grease any palms y'all need to. I'm also including a few dozen bulbs of some magic cow plant called the Whispering Lily. These here were given to me years ago by a Chilaxian associate, and once planted, the flowers have the ability to transmit sound to their sisters here in Timon. Plant them in secret around the new lodge, and we'll be able to keep better tabs on what's going on there with the locals once y'all leave. Good luck now. Hog and Smine."
Nice.
Very good.
That's like a telephone, huh?
Yeah,
Plants.
it's basically like a telephone to plant. So you have been given a mission briefing of Rasmirian has not had a Pathfinder Lodge in at least 50 years. It's an incredibly closed society.
It's so cool. The Rasmirians, I know all about it. It's so good.
Getting a lodge there is a big, big boon. So you are being dispatched there to set up the lodge. You are also given 150 gold pieces.
What? That's 2 runes right there. 3 runes.
I know. To help pay for the renovations to the lodge. So that there is not for you, not for drinking, not for partying, but for paying people to help you build it and fix it up, because that lodge is probably in really, really bad shape. And there was another letter. If someone wants to go and talk about that letter and give us the lowdown on that one.
I see it. Okay. My dear allies, with the death of so many of the siege of Gallospire, the Envoys Alliance must redouble its effort to recruit new members for the society. Rasmuran is a completely untapped source of new recruits, and although I know that Smine wishes you to find someone who will serve the new Rasmiri Lodge as guards and servants, you should also be on the lookout for anyone who might have the potential to one day become a full Pathfinder. Sadly, Rasmirian is a land where few can count it on to report our secrets to the government. So I send you on a delicate mission. Seek out the locals and gain their trust. Once you think you have it, try to ascertain whether or not they can keep a secret from the government. If they are trustworthy, give them one of the special tokens I have included with this missive, and tell them to return it to the Pathfinders of the Lodge once it is fully established. It will serve as a marker to those who come after you of Rasmiri's trustworthiness. These markers are imprinted with the holy symbol as Rasmir of Rasmir and should not arouse suspicion. With your help, we will return the society to its former glory. With greatest respect, Fola Baron.
They want us to recruit some people after we get the place established that we can trust.
Yeah.
Problem is, like, these Rasmiris, like the so-called priests, they're very
Yeah, there's narcs. We got to watch out for the narcs. Who's gonna?
Well,
narc
no. The
on
thing
us.
is,
They're like cultists.
Yeah, they're fraudulent. Like they are. They pretend to be priests and clerics, and they're actually sorcerers, mimicking the abilities.
But
of a cleric.
we're avoiding people who are going to report on the government, right?
They want people that we can recruit to become Pathfinders someday. It looks like.
You gotta have a little bit more trust in some people. I mean, we can't just assume that their religion's all hogwash and no gobbledygook.
It says, sadly, Rasmirian is a land where few can be counted on not to report our secrets to the government.
And they worship a living god. Like, their god is their leader, right?
It sure does make church service easy.
Should I roll a skill religion to...
I can do it for you. I can tell you what you know in character.
They're so cool. I'm a big fan of that, of these people.
Let's see. What do you know about...
That's deception. That's not the right thing.
No, I read it. I rolled everything. You don't need to say I do the roll. I roll low.
Oh, I saw deception.
No, that's something else you're looking at. Give me a second. Let's see.
And I don't think they're very good, to be honest.
Okay, you know a fair amount. You, Thorgrim the Lion, is going on and on about this subject since you know so much. You know that the most common Rasmiri are poor and closely monitored by the government, and the clergy of Rasmir are its upper and governing class, and they live in opulence. You also know that you've heard rumors that undead minions of the Whispering Tyrant have been seen lurking near the northern coastline that seem to have been kept in bay by the Rasmiri priesthood. You also know the things you were talking about before, that, yes, Rasmir supposedly did the test of the Starstone, passed it, and became a god, and now rules this nation. And it is a fairly, I'd say, tricky nation. There's everyone has to worship the living god, and the living god sort of runs the show. It was very familiar to the place you went with Balmerius, except the difference is that she was a rune lord, and this is an actual god who runs this place. So you went from out of the frying pan into the fire. Have fun, guys.
It's a god in quotes.
On the other hand, it's
girls.
a new tattoo opportunity for Mr. Peepers.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Mr. Peepers can start his collection. He can go from not only rune lords, but also gods as well on his body, all over.
Mr. Peepers, I'm a little disturbed by your choice of tattoos lately.
He's only got one tattoo. He's not gonna. That's all he needs. He's not building a collection. Don't worry.
All right, good.
He does not want to desecrate himself too much.
So while you're on the ship, there's two other groups here. There's a group of 3 spice merchants, and they're returning home from abroad. And there's also a family of 5 refugees from Lastwall fleeing the destruction of their nation by the Whispering Tyrant. If you don't remember this, but Lastwall was, destroyed, pretty much. It was set up to protect against the Whispering Tyrant's armies, and it's gone. Whispering Tyrant basically overcame Last Wall and destroyed it, and everyone's been fleeing Last Wall. In fact, those goblins you helped out way back when were also from Last Wall, if you remember. So
the circus ones, the theater goblins.
yes, the theater goblins,
Yeah,
they also
yeah.
were from Last Wall. So for some reason, the Whispering Tyrant's been kept at bay, but his armies have slowly, oh so slowly, been gathering steam and moving quietly throughout the world. For now, he's not been doing much, but you never know, one day. So if you wish, you can talk to them. You can talk to the hands. Once again, we got some new ones. We have the sea hands of Dave, Cindy, Lucy, and James. Remember, never give them more than one name if you expect them to live past the episode. They're basically the red shirts of Pathfinders.
So they're the only ones that I see. The other squares, I assume half of them are merchants, like the top half, and maybe the bottom half are the refugees? Or
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And the question that I have is the port that we are heading to, is that the town also where the Black Lodge is, or is the the lodge, the Pathfinder Lodge, the one that we're establishing, is that the same city, or are we then journeying to another location?
You're not exactly sure. You're going to have someone to meet you there, and then they're going to go through and explain everything to you.
Okay.
So it's nearby. You're sure.
Well, these refugees, I think if they're looking for a place to go, we could pencil them in for potential helpers to the lodge. If they're looking for a place, and if they're groundskeepers, or who knows, it could be carpenters. But I don't want to tell them anything that you guys think we shouldn't tell them about this. What do you guys think? Should we test the waters with them at all?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because you know what? I don't know. We can't really trust the Rasmirians.
Yeah, well, we know they're not
Rasmiri.
beholden to the government. Okay, so that's a given, unless they're, well, we can ask them, though there's unlikely if they're coming from another land. So I'm Mr. Peepers is gonna saunter up. He's gonna suss out the situation, and let's see. I don't even know if I'm not gonna do a sense motive. I'm just gonna talk to him and ask them what they hope to find in the city to where we're going to. I don't know the name of the city, but wherever the port is, that what they hope to find in their immediate future.
So you see the 5 Last Wall refugees. There's 2 parents and 3 hungry children. They look like they have gone through hell and back. And through talking to them, you find out that they are just looking for somewhere to live. And they just are trying to go anywhere. This was the first ship they can find. And they have spent all their money and everything they have to get onto the ship to hopefully find a new home.
Oh, this is good. All right, so first I'm going to do is there food on the ship? Like, are they hungry, like actively hungry right now? Or are they just generally without means?
They generally are without means. They have no money really to their name, just what they have on their backs as they fled Last Wall, as the undead armies were swarming the countryside. And they are fed on the ship. Part of their passage is being fed. So they're being fed.
Rat stew, though. We don't.
Well, it's
Bilge
rat,
water.
it's rat stew gourmet. So,
But don't we need like general people to help spruce up the lodge once we get there?
Yeah, that's
Here
what I'm
these guys.
thinking. Like a little kindness.
Give them a
up
place
front,
to stay.
maybe give them each a gold or something like that. And
No,
say,
not giving a gold.
We got 150 to spread around.
Oh,
I mean,
that's true. That gold.
Yeah, that gold. Other people's money.
Let's just ask them their story first. I'm sure they've got a good one to tell, and maybe they won't even want to talk about it. Let's find out what they're interested in.
Yeah.
You tell me.
So poke again. What's their story? What do they hope to find in the immediate future in the new land?
Well, yeah, they're just trying to find a well-paying job, a roof over their head, something safe for their children. We're just looking for a new life. Maybe we can become, I don't know, apprentices to someone. Maybe we can help work a farm where our kids can stay in the barn while we work during the day. Again, we're just looking really to be fed. We're not looking for much.
You want to ask them? You want to invite these guys to help out? I mean, we're probably not going to be looking for an attorney. We're probably looking for unskilled labor. So this is probably
we're going to be coming into a piece.
Here.
We're going to be coming into a piece of property, and we're going to have some work to be done. We could probably, if you'd care to stick close to us after we've concluded our business, we could probably arrange something where we can house you and feed you, and you do some of the work around the place, if that would help you get back on your feet.
Yeah, from sound of it, we're all going to get ourselves nice and sweaty and tired trying to fix this old place up, and a few extra hands would be might welcome.
They look around, and they're so weak and tired. They're like, yeah, we'll see what we can do, but it sounds like a lot of work. I mean, we're not going to say no, as long as there's food and the lodge for us. We're interested, definitely. Who wants to make the diplomacy check here?
Not Mr. Peepers.
My diplomacy is good.
I'm not a born diplomat.
Can I go ahead and back him up using my versatile performances?
Sure.
All right, I'm just gonna hum a ditty while he's doing it, so it sounds more reasonable.
So you do a little ditty, and Thorgrim tries to talk to them and convince them, but they're not sure. They want to keep their options open. They feel like it's not bad, but they'll come along with you, but they don't really know what is what yet. They kind of want to get their bearings.
Yeah, we can we can get everything settled like once we get there. I mean, we're not even sure what we're walking into. So yeah, we need to see if this building is still standing, if it's worthy to even live in. We're not even sure what the condition is. So yes, but as long as you keep tabs on us and stay close, if it works out, it could work out for all of us. And there is some concern about the government and in Rasmir, and also the clergy have some issues. So we're trying to find people who are not necessarily fanatical types. So you fit the bill, and I think we'll have plenty to offer. So.
And in the meantime, if y'all need anything, or anything comes up, you feel welcome to holler at us, whether you want to work for us or not.
Well, that's awfully nice. We've been through so much. It's been a terrible, terrible ordeal. I appreciate it. Well, let's get to this town, and we'll see if we could find something, and we'll go from there. Every day's been a struggle. We're just trying to do one day at a time. I tell you, one day at a time.
Are we living in the post world where the Whispering Tyrant was freed or something? I forget.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So that's part of the lore of Galarian right now.
Yes.
That's what's going on. Okay.
Yes. He broke out. He blew up pretty much last wall in a whole bunch of cities that are wiped off the face of the earth. He tried to nuke City of Absalon. He failed, but he came very close. And now he is on the Isle of Dread, I think. And he's kind of held up and waiting. He's still very much around. He's just not doing anything just yet.
We should go get him.
He's alive and well.
Yeah, you got to give him a hand for what he tried to do over there in Absalom, though.
What?
He almost blew it up.
What? What do you mean by that?
What?
Because they done chopped the darn thing off and left it there.
Whispering Tyrant is pure and innate evil incarnate. So,
oh yeah, sure is. which is why I'm glad they done and hacked that right arm of his right off.
Ooh, the arm of Vecna. Well,
No, Tyrant.
Tyrant.
You all be seeming having a hard time reading letters. I can take care of that for you if y'all want. Ain't no shame in it. I mean, I know what it's like being a refugee on the run and reading strange writtens.
I don't have much of the book learned myself. But Whispering Tyrant, one day he shall be mine.
Wow, that's a bold
Ha,
statement. From
what
a
is he?
a level 2 champion. You go and kill the undead Lich King that's been around for thousands of years, and entire armies and nations have not been able to kill him.
Exactly.
Good
That's
luck.
what-
That is kind of the plot of every fantasy story ever.
Right.
That is so true.
It's like a little. It's like
always
peasant-
you have to
peasant-
have it
right.
has to be a lich. Has to be a lich.
peasant farm boy goes and eventually aspires to take out the nuclear weapon incarnate.
That's right.
So, after a few days of talking with them and kind of ignoring the merchants, the Queen of Elysium pulls alongside the dock of a small Rasmiri village of Prophet's Rest on a chilly, late winter morning, with the sun just beginning to burn the morning mist off the glass river. The rickety wood dock is quiet, with only a few fishermen going about their business, while a single guard in the yellow and purple colors of Rasmirian leans lazily against a long spear. He jumps to attention when the ship's gangplank comes crashing down and then lumbers towards the ship, stretching out his cold limbs. As the other passengers move to disembark, a priest of Rasmir peers out of the fog. He wears an iron mask and white robes and comes flanked with 2 more guards. The priest places himself at the bottom of the gangplank, ready to meet the travelers. The first group to descend is the group of the 3 poorly clad Rasmiri merchants carrying goods in a large sack on their backs. They hand a small bag to the priest, who peers inside, and then nods and gestures for them to move on. Next, the family of the 5 Lastwall refugees are called to approach. They fish through their packs and hand a few silver coins to the masked priest. He looks at the coins with obvious disdain and hands the money back, motioning for the family to return to the ship. When the parents shake their heads and begin to argue with him, the priest points at the oldest child and states, "If you cannot pay the immigration fee, you may dedicate your child to the Rasmirian priesthood instead."
Well, may I interject here? We'll pay the boy's fee and the family's fee.
Oh? Are you sure?
Yes, quite sure.
What is the fee? What is the fee
It's
first?
good to find out what it is, but
Yeah.
I just ain't gonna let y'all run off with no boy.
Okay, so first, Thorgrim, you can make either a diplomacy, an intimidation check, or a deception check.
Diplomacy +5.
Okay, you can roll it to see how you do.
All right.
Let's see if the priest even wants to listen to you.
All right, hold on.
Wah, wah, wah.
Are you sure there's nothing wrong? This is the
Oh my
third one
God.
I've rolled in a row.
Let me
That's
roll it
crazy.
Just roll it again, Chris. See what happens. Just roll it again. Any skill.
for you. I mean, I rolled it. I got a 6 for you. Roll something else. Yeah, you rolled an 11.
Jeez,
Okay,
it's,
so
one of those, it's just one of those days.
Hey, it's just one of those days. All right. Well,
That's
not
a critical
only-
failure.
Not only did you not convince him, but he commands the guards. It's like, back! You're not a member of this family. You're not allowed to pay for their fee. You have no quarrel in this. They must pay their own way.
We ain't having none of that. Not 1 inch of it. I'm gonna get all 3 foot 6 inches of my ire up in his face, and I am going to highly advise him to back the heck off before I have to get unneighborly with him.
Like, it's like I kind of appear from the shadows and I want to whisper, have a sidebar with my party members, maybe Thorgrim. Is it the case that these are the guys that we were trying to hire as
Yes.
workers and servants to do
Yes.
this business? But
Yes.
they did or did not accept our offer.
They were
Not
sort of
formally,
lackluster on it.
Yeah, they were
So
not.
so they didn't actually accept our offer.
They
No.
didn't actually refuse it either, though.
Right? They
they,
didn't actually
they,
refuse
they,
it
they
either.
were standoffish.
All right. So my suggestion is your angle with the priest is the priest's argument is we have no relationship to these people, so we shouldn't butt in. Your retort is these people are our employees, therefore they come under our umbrella.
Right.
We're going in, so they're going in, and that'll also kick them in the ass to make a decision as whether or not they want to work for us or whether or not they want
to
be
lose
on their
their youngest child
Right.
to
exactly
evil
exactly,
priesthood.
Exactly.
That's
So
true.
we get
Put the
there's
decision in their hands.
yeah. So there's a two birds with one stone element to using that maneuver.
Right.
Okay,
That's
well,
my
let
suggestion.
let Ducker do his intimidation first before you try that tactic, because Ducker might intimidate past this anyhow. We'll find out soon enough.
How deep is the water?
No, it's not.
Oh, Ducker rolls a 2 for an 8.
Oh my
And
God.
They look at Ducker and they just start laughing and laughing. They're like, ooh, we're really scared. Ooh, the halfling champion. Our living god would smite you down.
All right. So I said,
what is it?
Look. Perhaps I didn't make myself clear. These people, these fine people, are our employees. They're going to be working for us. We are here on official Pathfinder business, and we are invited. And we need people to help with our construction and our servants. We need servants. So they come under our umbrella. We wish to pay our way and their way at one time. And I turn back to them, to the parents, and like I look at them and I nod, and I'm like, right?
They're just stunned and they're crying and hugging their boy, and they're just a total mess. Like,
Oh my God.
they're like totally. They appreciate it, but they are crying, and now they're trying to get back on the ship, and they're not letting
All
them
right,
back
so-
on
Oh
the
my
ship.
God. They're not helping themselves. They're not
All right,
helping
so
themselves.
I try to help that situation. I talk to whoever looks like the head of the family. Who looks like the head of the family anyway?
The father.
All right. I sidebar with him, whispering to him. Now is the time for the sake of your family, for the sake of your life, to take what is offered to you and come in and work for us, and say immediately in a loud voice, yes, he is my employer. I am under his protection, and my life is his. This is the time for you to say that, or else you're on your own.
Okay, well, first of all, who wants to make a diplomacy check against the priest who's not Thorgrim because he already failed his? So, and not Docker because he already tried to intimidate.
I
so-
have 0 modifier for diplomacy, and
Okay.
I'm annoyed by these refugees. Honestly, I'm not going to fight too hard for them. Honestly, if they're not going to stand up, then that's.
I
their
guess I'd be
business.
willing to give it a shot.
Okay.
I mean,
You could do a diplomacy check.
Yeah.
Nella can come to the rescue.
I just have you know my threat's not idle. It's intimidation or initiative, one way or the other.
Nice. I like that.
Let's see what.
well, look, sir, I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding. We're here on business, and we've made an agreement with these people to work for us as laborers, and we could really use your understanding here.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
A 2. Let me understand this. You rolled a 1, a 2, and a 2 so far.
I'm gonna hear avoid this. I don't know why. I don't know why we're going to bat for these people. If I get a fight, we're gonna be miserable.
Okay, 0 point. You do it.
With the diplomacy check.
Oh, nice. I forgot about that.
You do it. Oh, that doesn't look like a
Come
good roll.
on.
Oh, you rolled a 4.
Oh my God.
Never mind.
Oh my goodness!
We're not getting the kid in. All right.
The father's like, yes, we'll work with you. Anything to spare our boy. We will help you. We will do what we can. I apologize. Thank you so much for helping us. And The priest.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
What is our status in relation to the local government? Until because it's the Rasmiran theocracy, right?
Correct.
What's our legitimacy with them? What's our status with them?
None.
What's
You
our
have
relationship to them?
None. Zero. There's
So-
no diplomatic ties between the Pathfinder Society. This is actually
So what level of legitimacy do we have to enter their lands and claim some kind of ownership right over a piece of property in their country?
Got invited and offered it with this here official like letter.
But okay, so and an official like letter from who? What, like
A
that,
high-ranking priest.
Okay, there we go. I take that letter, and I save all of your ass with my +8 on fucking intimidation, and I say, excuse me, priest, read this. And I point at the letter, and I give him a demoralizing gaze, and I say, your superiors would not like any more trouble. These people are our employees. We have this document from your superior. We own this land. We are approved by an agent of your god. We must be allowed to pass, and we must be allowed to pass now.
okay. Give me that intimidation.
Watch I roll a 1.
Yeah, we all have, so.
Well, he rolled a 4 too. Here we go. Any second. Oh, pretty good. 7.
Oh my god! But
For
7, it does turn into a
15.
15.
Turns into a 15. He looks at you. Says, "Fine." He counts everyone up. It's like 3 gold, and you can all go in.
And we have 3 gold from the petty cash fund that
We
they
do.
gave us, right?
We do.
Sure. Our
All right.
per diem,
And who
yeah.
has that money?
Mr. Peepers has it, and I give you 3 gold.
Okay, and I just start giving orders. It's like Mr. Peepers, as you would. All right, you boy, I snap my fingers. You boy, get our luggage, get our thing, and I'm directing that entire family, and I'm giving them specific orders to do specific things. That gets a bag in their hand and orders them in a direction that's past these guards.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I assume I'm paying Lumley. Is that the guy, the money
What's
guy?
that?
Lumley,
Yeah,
is
you
that
pay
the money guy?
Lumley.
All right.
He waves you all through, and as soon as you do that, you see a large priest. And as soon as he shows up, Lumley and all the other guards snap to attention as if there was a board placed on their backs to the highest level. He comes over to you and says, "Oh, Pathfinders, thank you. I apologize I'm late. I am Mas Narson, short for Mask of the 12th Step." You see he wears blue silk robes with a cowl edged in silver thread. He wears a silver mask that conceals all of his facial features except for his intelligent and inquisitive hazel eyes. You can tell that by his presence, tone, and stance that he is obviously in charge here. He looks at the other guards and says, "Enough! Leave them!" And they immediately bow and shuffle off. With your gold, by the way.
While that is going on, I'm absolutely taking that document, giving it back to Thorgrim, and disappearing into the shadows.
There
Excellent.
you go. He goes on to explain that, yes, I apologize once again for being late. Church business, you know. I've been working on this arrangement for several months. I'm very excited to show you where the lodge can be set up and to hammer out this arrangement. I feel that we have much to teach each other, both the Rasmirian government and the Pathfinders. We are long overdue for a lodge of this sort. Hurry, hurry. I'm very excited to show you the property and to have you start the renovations. Please, please, let us go. Now with that, obviously you all have hero points, well, except for Jason who used his, and this is the time where you decide to slot your boons and your abilities for swords, scrolls, and spells. So, hey, what are you going to have? Let me guess. Healing potion and crystals for everyone, right?
Yes.
Yes.
For
Pretty
now.
much.
Perram, what are you
I
gonna
totally
do?
suggest to Thorgrim that he should talk to Gold Mask guy and nonchalantly say, "Oh, as a side matter, we'll need a receipt for the 3 gold," and have him ask what the hell they're talking about, and say, "Yeah, we got bread," and
I know.
let him know that
I was
like,
thinking that.
let me
Yeah.
put shade on that other guy for shaking us down.
So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, Perram, since you are swords, you get 1 sword item and then 1 general item. Do you know what you would want?
Yeah, I'm gonna get me one of these here leaping elixirs, and yeah, I am gonna go with one of them potency crystals, or as I like to call them, Billum smackers.
Wow. So, crystal, and what was the other one you chose?
Leaping elixirs, make me jump real good.
Oh, leaping elixirs. I've never heard of
Leaping elixirs.
elixirs. All right, you got it. So he goes on to bring you deeper into the village. As you enter the village, you see a ruin about a mile away on top of a tall rock overlooking the village and the Glass River Valley. And even from a distance, you can tell that that structure is in very poor repair and is going to need a lot of work. He goes on to explain, he goes, "Yes, that is the ruin of Fort Agate, the proposed location for the new Pathfinder Lodge. But we will talk about that when we're closer." And with that, he says, let's go to an inn, have some lunch, and discuss the lodge in detail. Come, I have it all arranged. And as you walk through the city, you can see that all the buildings look to be recently painted with windowsills or decorated with colorful flower boxes and draped with the yellow and purple flag of Rasmiri. It looks rich and prosperous, as if this country is doing great. Do you wish to discuss anything or talk about anything on your trip? It's about 10 minutes to the end, not too far.
I'm hanging out with the family that's still carrying our crap and reassuring them. I'm saying, like, to the father, I'm like, you handled that very well. Like, I'm trying to backpedal the kind of harsh language I used, the harsh tone I used earlier, and reassured him, like, you did very well. You know, you just stick with us. You're going to be all right. And I'm just trying to talk up their morale and try to find out more about them and chit chat them what skills they might have and things like that, whilst the rest of the party is doing all the big tour stuff.
Okay.
I was going to say that this whole town sure seems to have a whole bunch of civic pride. How come the building up there ain't so decorated and pretty like?
Well, that them building has been around for eons and generations. There was no need for it, so no upkeep has been used on that building anytime recently. That's why I felt it was a perfect location for the lodge. It serves as a defensive structure. You can see all around, and you're near a prosperous town. A perfect location. No one was using it, and I was able to get approval from the highest levels of the government. From what I hear, and he goes on to whisper, I heard Rasmiri himself approve the request.
Well,
That's an honor.
That's very cool.
So this place is blessed by God.
Yeah.
We got a blessing from God.
No. Yeah, it's not my God.
I know.
Yeah, I say, wow. And it does look like all this stuff is sort of new, right? Like it's new,
brand new,
a new coat of paint. Yeah,
yep.
It seems a little bit North Korea-esque.
Maybe.
I say, yes, this is quite nice. Oh, I just did want to, we had a little unpleasantness at the disembarking, and we do need a receipt for all Pathfinder expenditures. So we had to pay your priest 3 gold for the group of us to even get off the boat. Just want to bring that up.
He looks at it and goes, well, each of us have our stations in life. 3 gold is about correct. There is a disembarkment fee. So I will make sure you get a receipt for that. But what he did is not illegal, nor untowardly. It is something to be expected. I'm sure that's not the first or the last fee you'll be paying to get the job done.
when in Rome and all that. Yes.
But with that, yes. Let's hammer out the details and get to the inn, shall we?
Lead the way.
The catfish here looks mighty tasty.
Careful what you touch around here.
Those aren't catfish. Okay, so after 10 minutes, you come to an inn, and on the sign of the inn, it looks like it is called the Angry Cock. And there is a large chicken that appears to be quite angry on the sign. You get it?
Yeah.
Anyhow, with that, Narson's like, come in, they've arranged quite a meal for us. He looks at the refugees you brought with them, and he goes, oh, I think there should be enough for everyone. Come in.
Mr.
And-
Peepers is going to go around the back way. She's just
Okay.
doing a little recon.
Okay, you can do some recon. There's a door that leads. Okay, you went through a window. I don't think you go through a window.
Oh, I
There's only
thought that
one
was a door. That's why I went.
No,
around
I
no,
love your
no.
commitment to the dramatic.
that. Yeah, he's not going to try that hard. He's going to go back. Okay, he's going to do a full 360 and then go back in.
It looks fine. So as soon as you walk in, the innkeeper leaps to her feet and brings you to the back of a private room. And there is a simple yet very large and very delicious looking lunch laid out on the table for everyone. And she bows deeply and is obviously, being very respectful of this extremely high priest. And everyone else in the building goes very quiet as soon as he walks in.
Mr. Peepers is going to nod to her as if she had bowed to him.
Oh, okay, good job.
And I have to say there, Brother Narson, was that right? Your Brother Narson, the big old head priesty around here?
He just laughs. He's like, Mask Narson.
Oh, Mask Narson. Okay, I understand. You must lead quite a meeting. Everybody around here seems to respect you awful much.
Well, it is true. I am probably the highest ranking priest, definitely in this town, if not this region within a few 100 miles. But do not worry about that, as I am on your side. I have been working hard so that we can work together, both Necessarian priesthood and the Pathfinders. But with that, let's quickly fill up and get ready for the hike to Prospect's Rest, the town next to Fort Agate, where you will be gathering supplies and workers to help fortify and fix up the fort.
Oh, that's good. I thought we was going to have to haul everything up from the port town here.
No. Don't worry. I have done what I could to gather this and make it as easy as possible for you. Dig in.
So just as I'm following,
I'm gonna
go ahead.
I'm wrangling the refugees during all of this.
Ah.
I'm getting them at a table, at an appropriate table with an appropriate meal, working with the inn staff to see that they're fed and looked after, and I'm continuing to hang out with them, just riding on my natural charisma to find out about them and see what their skills are and what they're worth.
As an elemental fire goblin, your natural charisma with the refugees.
Yeah, but as a sorcerer, my natural charisma is through the goddamn roof.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a sorcerer,
All right.
man. My charisma is my best stat.
Oh, okay. The question that leaps to mind is, has Narson done the preliminary work in ascertaining what supplies need to go to the place? And is that what or are we going to have to say the work ourselves? Because none of us are carpenters, and like what kind of tradesman does he have on the job?
Oh, let me quickly go through. I'll explain everything.
Okay.
So first of all, as I said before, I've been making preparations for your arrival for several months, and I've been able to convince the visions of the 15th step that make up the highest echelon of the Rasmiri government to allow the Pathfinder Society access to our blessed nation and to establish a lodge in the abandoned fort less than an hour's travel from the port city of Zir. The proposed site, as I mentioned, is an abandoned castle named Fort Agate, which rests on a small tor just outside the suburb. The fort, as I said, is in poor repair, but I promise you'll find villagers in Prospect's Rest willing to help them make the necessary repairs. For a price, of course. I suggest you go check out Fort Agate as soon as possible. Of course, I myself am getting too old to go tromping through the hills, but I am happy to answer any general questions. As for supplies, I do not have any supplies for you per se, but I know that Pathfinders have a well-deserved reputation for self-sufficiency and innovation, so I'm sure you'll have no problems whatsoever coming up with the required supplies and manpower to repair the large fort.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and that's only fair. It's only fair if we're gonna take up living in the place that we make sure we pay for the fixing parts of it up. Are any big old nasties in there or anything we gonna need to clear out? Cause they sure sent a whole bunch of us with mighty big weapons to just do a work detail.
It is an old abandoned fort. Perhaps some critters or other local wildlife have made a nest or home. I would strongly suggest you go check it out first, so that none of the carpenters and other craftsmen you send there face an untimely death.
Exactly. They all
Yeah,
be
so
kind.
we're gonna have to go there first. That's a good That's a good point. Good. You.
This is my dream adventure, by the way. Clearing out a dungeon and taking it over.
Yes,
that
this
is
really
my
cool.
that is my perennial D&D fantasy.
Oh, this is gonna be good. And how far away is the fort? It's just up on the hill, like maybe a quarter mile away or something.
So Thorgrim is, speaking about being bothered, Thorgrim is getting increasingly agitated with this mask. He does not like him much and is sort of standing a little away and drinking his ale in the corner and just giving him the stink eye a little bit.
He's scowling.
Yeah, he's not. He's like, he starts mulling over the thoughts of this religion and everything, and it is quite evil here. He's not happy about it.
In case Narsen catches that, Mr. Peepers will just explain. Don't worry about Thorgrim. He's an angry drunk. That's
and he's a dwarf.
So,
that explains a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, he's like that with everyone. So
he actually looks over to you and say, I understand there's been many misrepresentations about our religion, and although there are several bad apples in the bunch, I must assure you that I, Narsen, Mask of the 12th Step, look for nothing but diplomatic relationships and an open understanding between the Pathfinders and ourselves. I believe that through learned knowledge, we can teach each other quite a bit. And some of those misconceptions can be put aside.
Thank God. Oh, good. All
right, so Thorgrim says, yes, I do agree that there can be an exchange of knowledge here. And with that, he pulls out a rag and starts prominently polishing the holy symbol of Iomade on his shield to give it a nice shine. Because I know they don't like other religions. This much I know. And I have it proudly displayed.
And the rest of the group in the bar, they seem extremely nervous when you start doing that, as if this priest might strike out. But you can almost see him smiling through his eyes, that he's like, and he even gives you a little bow, a little nod of the head, and he says, to each their own. I make no assumption that everyone follows our thoughts and beliefs. You could follow your opinions and your belief systems just as I follow mine. All I ask is that you have an open mind.
He's more tolerant than Thorgrim.
Yeah, he starts grumbling.
And speaking of open minds, why for all you do want us in the Pathfinders around here? I mean, I'm really not fond of the organization, but in certain parts we ain't got the best reputation. I think I've been called a no-good grave robber more times than I can count.
Well, considering that the undead Lich has been released and he seems to be eyeing our great nation, I felt it was important to gather as many allies as possible. Although this is blasphemy amongst many in the Order, I felt it was an important step, and none would be stronger than alliance with the Pathfinders, as they would probably know more about the Whispering Tyrant than anyone else. So why not share our resources? Have you open up a lodge here? There's nothing to lose other than, I presume, face or reputation. But for what purpose if we're all going to be dead? Look at what happened to last war. Look at what happened to the refugees you have outside there. I don't want that to happen to my fine flock. So that is why I have suggested the Pathfinders come to our great country.
That's well put. I got a newfound respect for you there, Mr. Mass Narson. Next time we get drinks, I'm buying the first round for you.
He laughs. You notice he hasn't eaten or drinking anything. He says, yes, the mask makes eating and drinking a bit difficult. I have to do that in private, as I am not allowed to take my mask off.
I went down there, Sargova. They got a thing for it because they eat the coconuts down there. Yeah, there's all kinds of them coconuts, and they's delicious. If you get some, it's good. But they got these little reeds. They call straws, and you can drink under the mask there. I'm sure you can get one ported up here, as wealthy as y'all doing.
A straw, you say? Sounds like a rather interesting invention. Tell me more, Mr. Ducker Nightrun.
Well, it's kind of like them reeds I had to use when I was ducking around from the Chelaxians when they was chasing me all over plantations and farms and noble estates and stuff, because they didn't like me, man, and that's why I can't go there no more. But you see them use the reed and you breathe the air when you're hiding under the water and stuff, so you don't get shot with the crossbow because they really good aim with that. Well, instead, you do it backwards. You put the reed into the water, and you stay in the dry spot. Instead of water, though, it's your beer, and it kind of works. It kind of works if you get a small enough straw.
Fascinating.
I whisper to Mr. Peepers. I say, I don't think that he drinks coconut milk. It's more likely he drinks the blood of babies.
Oh my goodness,
I've
Thorgrim.
had that drink before.
Wow. So...
Oh my gosh.
With that, you continue eating, and he asks you all to hurry up so we can get to the site while there's still daylight. I wish to show you your home for the next several weeks, Prophet's Rest, as well as the fort itself.
I assume the food is good, so Mr. Peepers is going to just gobble down, like he's just going to wolf it down.
Don't need tell me twice.
He's ready to go. He's clearing his plate and he wants to see some.
Yeah, Thorgrim.
Action.
He had was 1 pint of ale, and he's not eating any food, and he's ready to go.
Okay, if you're all ready to go, he says it's a few hours downriver from the city of Zer, and the town of Prophet's Rest is situated on a bluff above the Glass River, near where it empties into Lake Incarthen.
Can we get these refugees, they'll probably need a place to stay. Can we ask Narson, is there an appropriate place for these people to stay where it's safe while we clear out the fort? We want them to be out of harm's way.
Well, it's us as well. Like, I'm assuming.
We're going to the fort. No, they're not.
But we need a base camp. We're going to have a base camp in the town, and then make forays into the fort. We're not just going to go into the fort and
we're going to live there.
Just immediately.
Oh, really?
I'm sure we could rent a horse stall or two to flop down in if we need to.
That's highly undignified.
Well, don't worry. He goes on to explain that he's going to be bringing you to Prophet's Rest. It's a once prosperous fishing and trading community. However, the village has shrunk down over the past few decades and now consists of fewer than 20 families. Many left to find work in the larger cities, and others were, sentenced to forced labor claims by the clergy for crimes against Rasmiri and the nation. But don't worry about those. Anyhow, with
Water
that,
under the bridge. Water under the bridge.
Don't worry about those.
They obviously deserved it.
And with that, he brings you into the town of Prophet's Rest, and he goes on to give you a small tour of the town. Here is Melcat Folly Inn, the only inn in Prophet's Rest, and most likely where you will probably stay, assuming you don't wish to set up camp at the fort itself. He goes on to explain that it's run by a hard-working, middle-aged female human named Lada Mayer, and she has 2 sons who run the mill with her, Wilford and Mikkel. They also have a servant girl named Basmaria Lingler, a half-elf, I believe. The inn itself, as you can see, is only 2 stories, and is the only building built of stone in the entire hamlet. This is obviously where you would probably wish to stay until the fort has been constructed enough for you to habitate there.
What about abandoned houses? Because if the population has decreased so much, there's got to be all kinds of other places that it's got to be like Detroit. There's all these houses just kind of like.
Oh no, Rasmir does not allow blight. As soon as those houses were abandoned, they were swiftly removed. They are gone. We do not allow that. That would allow riffraff and others to claim those domiciles.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Squatters. They don't want squatters.
You got to get boards to build your barn somewhere.
It's like the whole premise of this adventure is that they've left this like tower, this like fort abandoned, to be taken over by monsters.
He goes, well, it's one thing to bring down shacks and small houses. It's another thing to bring down
of course.
Fortress made of stone that's lived for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
It's got an explanation for everything.
All right, so will this inn also be able to accommodate our servants?
The people, they don't look so thrilled you keep calling them servants. They're like, well, we're workers. We'll help out, of course.
They're industrial free people. Respect it.
It's the fair wage is what everyone else is getting.
All right, I'll start calling them our employees.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
Our
call
employees.
them office managers. How about that? I mean,
Okay.
it's
I was just going with a quasi medieval world etiquette as opposed to a 21st century American etiquette. In any kind of medieval world, there are servants, and there's no disrespect in that. That's what they are.
Educate you with the broadsheets of where I'm from, which is good old Andoran and Augustana, as a matter of fact, and we've got a whole mess of good ideas on how that's not quite right no more.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, but we're not from Andoran, right?
I sure as heck
the
is.
Black Lodge isn't. Yeah, but the Black Lodge isn't. We're not.
Oh, sure. I understand. I know that the broadsheets don't make it up that way. We only controlled 1/5 the whole dang society once upon a time, but sure.
I was a servant for my wizard master for a very long time, and I not only did I not feel disrespected by that position, I felt loved.
Oh, I see. Well, and you want to go back to that?
Yeah, we have an abundance of love with the Black Lodge. That's our problem.
This is your new family now.
Yeah.
He goes on to explain, over here is the Temple of Rasmir, of course, and it is run by Priest Lumley, and I believe there's 3 guards, Pertus, Asfit, and Rakat. Over here is the smithy, the local blacksmith. I presume you'll be talking to him quite a bit. That is Martin Hengis, and he lives here with his husband Edgar. They will most likely be helping you probably more than anyone else, as they, well, are blacksmiths. Over here is the farmhouse. This is a residence of Farmer Bennett Hoggett. I believe he's the richest man in Prospect's Rest. He sells a lot of produce to the priesthood. I know he's married. I believe his wife is Gerlind. And they do have a servant, as you like to say. Mattel, a halfling, by the way. Over here...
You called him a servant.
I got issues with that, too, because all of the slaves in Cheliax are halflings.
Yes, he might be a slave as well. Anyhow, Cooperage over here is the home and workshop of Brandrock Brum. He's a carpenter. Again, you'll probably be talking to him quite a bit, as he can help gather lumber. And as you can see, there's lots of lumber next to the building. Over here is Nick and Nax. They sell trinkets, dry good.
What?
Yes,
We
trinkets,
have an
dry
identity
goods.
crisis
Nix
on our
and
hands.
Nex.
Nix and Nax. Not Nix Knox, but Nix and Nax, spelled completely differently.
Close.
She sells healing creams and love charms as well. And that is Sylvian Northrich. And over here is the Hunter Lodge, which is a resident of the middle-aged Pilskin the Brown. He's a hunter and fur trapper who sells goods in the village. And that is the village. As I said, I would suggest you get to know the locals, as they're primarily going to be your workforce to fix up the fort.
That's
And
all
so,
well and good.
but back to my actual question about our accommodations. What is the nature of our accommodations, and check them out? Like what are they?
Whatever you wish. If you wish to use the inn, if you wish to go camping in the woods, if you wish to use the fort, whatever
All
you
right.
wish.
So if we use the inn, do we each get our own room, for example? Is it a common room? Like
what
this
does
family
matter?
that we're having with us?
The family is your responsibility.
Right, but what are the options? Like, is the option
Common room. Big common
You should
room.
Like, is
go
that an
into the
option?
inn and
Yeah.
ask yourself. I am
All right,
merely.
I'm doing so. I'm
Okay.
I'm taking the family with me, and I'm going to the inn, and I'm getting arrangements.
I don't think he goes to meeting all that often.
Anyhow, you go into the inn, and sure enough, you're greeted by a middle-aged woman, and she sees a whole bunch of people walk in, and she's like, it's a lot of people. I'm gonna help you.
So I explained the situation. You know, we're going to be the new masters of that place, Pathfinder Society. We need accommodations. What do you have?
For 10 people.
10 people.
And we're probably gonna, once this is fixed up, we're probably bringing a lot of people to the fort, which will be a lot more business coming this way in case, we are successful. But if it's too expensive, then we just may pass on the fort thing.
Well, right now we have enough to hold 7. We have one room is already occupied, but we have 7 rooms available.
I would like to see
Oh,
them,
gosh.
please.
We don't need all our own rooms. I used to share 3 beds with 14 brothers and 6 sisters.
Exactly.
There you
The
go.
family can
There
all
you
fit
go.
in one room.
Yeah, we want one room, so that's perfect. We've got 5, 9, 10 people. That'll fit. One room,
And
right?
sure enough, you look around and they show you the rooms. They're simple, but enough for you. They all have one large bed in most of the rooms. Should be able to comfortably hold 2 people per bed if you wanted.
And what's the rate for a room per week?
Are they off the ground even?
Yeah, they're off the ground, and there's actually a 2-story. It's a rather large inn.
Yeah. So
All right, well,
Fresh swept dirt even?
are we talking coppers or what? Let's.
We have our money. Our
Yeah,
Pathfinder one.
yeah, that's true. But like right now, we're getting so far ahead of ourselves because we don't know if this is a 3-week operation or if this is like, until we see the fort, we don't know really how long.
Mr. Peepers, get ready to dig into your own pocket for money.
It's going to be a long time. I mean, it should be a long time.
But we only need to worry about the right now. He is right about that. Let's just make sure that they got a place to snooze and a good old plate in their bellies, and while we go check this place out and figure out how long we're going to need.
Yeah, because I don't want to talk to anybody here until we know what we have to do at this fort.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's also and if I remember correctly, like our mission is not to take it to ultimate completion, right? Like we're just kind of temporarily holding on to it just until somebody else can take it from us, right? To pass it off, right?
We're supposed to start getting it ready to get fixed up though, and get the force in here to do it.
We're holding it for 1 month.
All right, well there you go. So it's a month.
Go.
So we need accommodations for a month. We need everything for a month. It's a month. We know it's a month.
If it's going to be. But again,
unless we say no.
Well, unless it takes a week to clear out the monsters and then 3 weeks of fixing up the place, because I don't want to spend money on an inn.
That's what I bet it is. That's what I bet it is.
I keep saying monsters. I bet the rats ain't that bad.
Oh, the rats are. The rats might not be bad, but other things.
All right. Well, just to tie up this loose end. Can we get some extra beds into one of the rooms so the mother and the father and the children can all have one room comfortably?
Sure.
All right, so I get them squared away, and I'm actually trying to look after them a bit.
Okay.
You want to inherit that family, don't you? You want to.
Well,
them.
I'm actually culturally, Americans have a certain attitude about the idea of servants and things like that. But there's a whole other way of looking at it, where you're all members of one family. Like, it's like they work for you, but you look out for them. Like, they're under your protection. It's like it's a two-way street, and that's the tack that I'm taking with it. Like, it's like, yeah, these guys are going to be working for me. We have not discussed salary. You'll notice, basically they're working for us for a roof over their head and food. Which means it's much more like a parent-child relationship with these people. Like where I'm trying to actually look after them and see to all of their needs. I'm not like just paying them a salary and saying good luck.
I think we're spending too much time on them.
Had that negotiation,
so that's why I kind of want to get them happy and settled and get that loose end tied up and then get to the adventure part. So I'm trying to get that done and get to the adventure.
Are they settled and tied up?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the adventure. Okay, we're going on. Okay, so Mr. Peepers.
So we should scout out the place and see what's there. What do you say?
Yes.
Okay. As you're about to leave, Narsen, that he explains to you how you can get to the fort, and says that he will help get these people situated while you are at the fort, and you can go.
All right, I have one very important question. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
How much is a carriage to the fort?
Versus a cart.
I would like to be driven in a carriage with drapes.
Anyhow, the fort itself sits on top of a tall, narrow promontory with a spectacular view, and it can be approached with ease via a road.
That fort looks awesome. It was big.
You go up the road and get to the fort. The steep but wide road leads from the bottom of the cliff to the outer walls of the main gate.
Where is the main gate? It
the
doesn't
main
seem
gate
apparent.
Is
looks like right there.
So you can go up the road around the bend to the main gate. What do you wish to do?
Okay, Mr. Peepers, are we where we are? Because that doesn't seem to be connected to the road.
It is. There's a road that leads all the way up there. Yeah. If you.
It's around the circumference. You got a hole around the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I equip my shield and I equip my trident. I'm ready.
Okay. Right. So here you are. You are at the road.
I go there.
Wow, you go right to. Okay, he runs right.
Yep.
Up the
He's
front.
turning into Peepers Jr.
Yep.
Okay,
You
all
go
right.
right up.
I'm for it, actually. We have
I've
to
got
get
my
rid
sling out.
Your sling. Oh
My
my god.
sling. There's no
I
reason
mean,
to have
we
a
are
sword.
expecting
There's
some
nothing-
writ, so I
Yeah, there's-
might as well pull out my stabby thing.
When we get inside, then we switch to the stabby things. Or should I say, my stabby thing with a +1 to hit.
I know. Jealousy.
I never could get used to them slinging things.
So you approach the outer walls of Fort Agate. They're badly degraded in many places. You can see the two outer layers of flagstone was filled with a layer of pebbles and sand between them. You can tell that the wall was originally 12 feet high and 6 feet wide at the base and 4 feet wide at the top. However, most of this has fallen apart. There's holes all amongst the walls, and one location near the main gate, it's given out entirely, and you can walk right in with no difficulty. The wooden main gate is rotted away. You can see the stone post of where it was hung years ago, and it is just in complete and utter disrepair. This fort is in really, really bad shape.
All right, I am trained in warfare lore, and so what I want to do.
Yes.
So what I want to do is actually leverage that for a professional assessment of what it would take to get this up to so it passes inspection, and have that laundry list accumulate. My character just accumulates that laundry list in his head in preparation for when he has to actually talk to the people in town to start actually get work done.
Take notes.
Exactly.
Okay. It's going to be a massive list. I'm telling you that right now.
I have warfare.
Right.
lore
That's
also.
why I don't want to actually role play it out. Like I wanted to say that I did it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't need to even do that. But you will automatically start making a list and checking it off.
Oh, this place is a mess. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
All right,
So what
Mr.
do you
Peepers.
wish
I go there.
Switching
Thorgrim
to
walks right in. There we go. Thorgrim walks
swords.
right into the courtyard. You walk into the courtyard.
I'm
and
totally with him.
I am
And it
sneaking.
stretches from the main gate to the keep. It contains the ruins of a watchtower and well. It is completely overgrown with bushes and small trees, and is covered in rubble that broke off from the various stone structures. Actually, I could show you a picture of what the fort looks like as you approach it. Hold on.
Oh, that looks not so
That's not so bad. That's actually pretty good.
It's right on the water. Look at that. It's got the big mask, though. Oh my god.
Prime real estate.
It's got a working flagpole.
They told us this is a fixer-upper. What do we expect?
Yeah, I like it.
That's a lot better than the image I had in my mind when.
Take a look around and see if there's any obvious signs of anybody or any critters making up nests and nonsense in here.
You sure can. And Thacker looks around and fails completely at noticing anything other than overgrown shrubs and weeds, and does not notice any animal signs.
I'm
I'm
going
going to take
make-
a look down this well. You always need a good water supply, no matter what. It's one of the first laws of survival.
That is true.
Okay, you walk towards the well, and you can see the outer stone walls of the well have collapsed inward, making it appear as if it was just a pile of stone. It looks like it's going to require a lot of work to repair this well.
Is there a rope or a bucket? Like
It is a
functional?
pile of rock. It is
Yeah, all the
completely
rock is like
Oh, it's
covered.
collapsed.
Like you have to clear
Oh,
away
it's
the rocks
collapsed.
even
Oh,
down
okay,
the hole.
okay.
It's collapsed. There's nothing to
Okay.
even look into.
I'm switching to sling in my promontory position. I have a good view of everything around me, I assume.
I see some
You do.
stairs over there. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's
going
stairs
down.
all over the place. Stairs all over the place.
I think we should check to go down and try and get in here.
Why don't we have a scamper up to the top and see what we can see around here before we go under?
Sounds good. Let's take a
Yeah,
look.
I like that idea. That's a lot. Just a surface, I already went up these stairs. If you guys just jump up, we can check out just the rooftops before we go down. There might be some.
Are you good at scampering, Peepers?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
I'm going to be in sneak mode as I go on. It looks like I'm doing this by myself.
Oh, I'm coming with you, but that's going to really make the sneak mode not work all that great.
Yeah.
I'll at least go up to the top, so I'm available if those guys get in trouble.
Okay.
I'm
You
going to stick
go-
with Thorgrim.
You go to the watchtower, and you can see this watchtower is in fairly grim condition, mostly collapsed. It was once 30 feet in height, and it is probably now maybe 20 feet in height. So it looks
Jeez.
like it needs a lot of work to get fixed up.
And I'm using my message spell to periodically communicate with them up there. So let them know
All
they
right.
can reach out to me.
Yeah, so I'm telling them everything that I see. I do have a warfare skill as well. I'm assaying the damage, and I'm going to check out this second tower.
So you go to the northeast tower, and this one appears to be in even worse shape. This one is barely 12 feet tall and leads dangerously to the east, with the fieldstone jutting out at odd angles, giving it a very, very precarious appearance. It looks like this watchtower can't even be repaired, that this watchtower will have to be completely pulled down and destroyed and rebuilt from scratch.
Well,
Yeah, let's be careful up here. I
Yeah.
don't want to have to come and pick you up out the lake.
we're not going to go too far. We only need one structure anyway to house people, so...
I'm gonna go check out this one and the remaining portion of this piece of wall.
That watchtower in the southwest appears to be in much better shape. The two in the southwest and northwest appear to be repairable and just need some fixing up. The one in the northeast is completely in disrepair and needs to be rebuilt from scratch.
What about this southeast structure? It doesn't seem to be any way to getting up there. Is that the case?
No, you can get up there. There's stairs that will get up there. It doesn't I don't know how I was built this way, but you could just
Stairs
go-
right there, it
Yeah,
looks like.
you
That's
right.
like an
You're right in
entrance
the
then.
front. Yep.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like
go
you
is
in.
that
go
what
in and
that
then
is?
go
I
up.
thought it was a fountain.
That is actually
Okay.
the keep. That's the keep itself.
Okay.
I say to Thorgrim, as an aside, this gift horse, its teeth are rotten.
Yes, like everything else in this godforsaken land.
All right. So, what about this stuff over here? Is this also
Just to look
precarious?
out. Just
That
to look
goes
out.
down to
Yeah,
the dungeon. Be careful. I
There's-
see dungeon stairs. Oh,
there are some dungeon stairs. You do see them
Where?
right next to Ducker.
right there. Stairs going down. Looks
No,
like,
that
right?
stairs actually go up.
No,
Towards
that's
the
that goes
rampart.
up to a landing.
Yeah, that's like a land part.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
I
no.
got
You know what?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you
You
wanna
know
go
where
there.
the dungeon
Those-
is
I
actually
thought
in the
this
keep.
one-
You have to go through the keep to get
That's
right.
what I
Yeah,
thought.
to keep.
Let's go in the keep. Yep.
Okay, so you go into the keep, and this octagonal keep is in better condition than the outer walls, but it has a lot of stones missing. It's 45 feet in height. It's divided into 3 floors. There appears to be the Great Hall where you entered. You can look up and you can see the roof, and there's stairs going down to what you presume is the dungeon. As you go into the Great Hall, which is assessed from the ground level of the courtyard, you see a spiral stone ramp that's 10 feet across and winds up the outside of the keep to a landing where the front door was once located. The doors fall into pieces long ago, and all that's left is an empty doorway that leads into the Great Hall. The room inside is covered in broken masonry, pieces of wood, and which you believe might be droppings of some sort. Whether they're bird or animal, you're not quite sure. The Southeastern Quarter is a winding staircase that leads to the bottom floor, which you presume would be the dungeons or the basement. In this case, a dungeon. And the ceiling of the Great Hall has a 10-foot wide hole in it, open to the sky that leads to the roof. There's a wooden staircase that went to that upper area. It is completely gone and has completely gone and is been rotted long ago. So there is no easy way to get to the roof, although you could probably climb up there. So it looks like the Great Hall is actually of all the places in okay shape. The roof has the stairs missing and many support beams look like they're rotted through, and there's a 10-foot hole in the ceiling, and there is a staircase leading down to the dungeons. What do you do?
Dungeons? Is it
Dungeons.
Yeah.
What is the time of the day? Just for
It's the late afternoon because you're at
Okay.
lunch, so it's about 4 o'clock.
that's
or
what I
so.
figured. Okay, dungeons.
So you find the dungeon, and unfortunately, as soon as you try to go down the stairs, it is completely blocked off with an enormous cave-in. There is no way to get in there. It looks like it is just gone. It is going to require complete clearing of the stonework and repairing of the stairwell to get to the dungeon.
Search for secret doors. First floor.
Okay. Wow.
Do we have a map of this interior thing?
Nope. There's no secret doors.
All right.
You're like, wow, that is a massive collapse, and that is going to take a massive amount of manpower to clear out to get down there.
I mean, are we talking hours or months? I mean, what's a massive amount of?
Yeah, like what's
Yeah,
the
that's too vague.
what's the man day? Like if we could bust it down to man days. Like it would take one man
You're
100 days. It would take 10 men.
you're getting there. You're getting there.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
All right, I want to investigate. I say, Nella, there's some droppings here. You might see if you can identify this. There might be something in here that flew in or something.
Oh, the poo expert. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, I will go ahead and do a nature check on that.
So to clearing the dungeon, to evacuate the stairs will be at least 12 full days of work clearing that out successfully too. So that's 12 days of work for one person, minimal, full days of work.
Well,
Or like one day for 12 people.
Or one day for 12, but it looks like that really won't be possible because there's
It's gonna
not
be
enough
one person.
room for 12
Yeah,
people.
it's gonna be
So you're going to have to figure out work shifts.
Right.
You're way jumping ahead, Seth. There's a whole system for this that
so
we're going to get to.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm
Alright.
trying to
You're
figure
gonna
out
get to it.
what
You're
is
gonna get
that? What
to
is the system that they
You
have?
haven't got
Because they
into
do
it.
have
We're
something
not there
figured out
yet.
for them.
We're not there. We're
You
not
know that
there.
a pack of dwarves could clear this out in half a day
That's true.
You're not there yet.
because we're dwarves and we're good at stuff.
Yes.
What about the nature check on the droppings?
Oh, the nature check on the droppings.
Yeah, Noah's doing it.
He's the one who's doing it.
Am I rolling that, or is that?
Oh, Nella's doing it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I called her
Sorry.
over.
Okay,
I
yeah,
just want to
you-
make
you-
sure that he didn't get lost in the.
Sorry, he did get lost. She looks at it and she knows that those are droppings from giant geckos.
Yeah. Oopsie.
All right.
They look semi-fresh, but not like brand new.
And how giant are giant geckos? Noah, do
Are
you
they
know?
dog sized? Are they horse sized? What are we looking at with giant geckos?
Yeah, and is that like giant geckos are in this terrain, or is that giant geckos nest here next door and they'll be back? What
Yeah,
kind of giant gecko? What kind of giant gecko poo is that?
Is this Triceratops droppings, or is this like
Right.
something we might step in?
Giant geckos. They are medium-sized. They can climb on virtually any surface, no matter how slick or sheer. Otherwise, they're pretty basic. I mean,
Yeah.
they can bite you with their jaws, but they're just animals. There's nothing. They literally are geckos, only bigger.
So like medium dogs or wolf
Yes,
sized.
exactly.
Oh, that's okay.
They have no poison that you know of, no disease, no teeth. they're pretty straightforward. They're actually quite easy to deal with. There is one very interesting thing, though, in this great hall, and you notice it appears to be a table, a ceremonial table, cut out of the bedrock that's 8 feet long and 4 feet wide.
Ooh, what is that? That looks like an altar of some kind.
Could be.
I would like to
Could be.
examine that.
Okay, you examine that. You see this top is unadorned, but all the sides have carvings of writhing humanoid figures, and similar writing can be found on every wall of that item. Those carvings have also been terribly defaced with tools, and the writing is completely illegible at first glance.
How about with a second glance?
Okay, with a second glance, you know for a fact that this is a shrine to Ugathia, the Pallid Princess herself.
Oh, that's not a good thing, right? That's a very evil god.
Yeah, that's bad. It's okay. So this was evil. This is like evil temple stuff.
Yes, it looks extremely evil. You have no idea what the writing is on this temple, but you imagine that with many, many days of deciphering ancient writing, you can probably figure it out. Maybe a week or so.
Maybe 12 days.
maybe 6 or 7 days of figuring that out. You can figure out what's on this
All
writing.
right. Well, we can
So I
multitask.
love the idea. I love the idea of like the housing inspector coming in here and being like, "Yeah, you got some termites over here, you got some dry rot over here, and you have a dark temple to the Pallid Princess over here. Yeah, that's not up to code. That's a problem."
Not to mention the iguana dropping.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
we gotta get animal control.
Giant
in here.
iguanas.
Yeah. So here's the best part. I'm gonna say you go around, you continue doing some searching, and you don't find anything that really is bothering you, and you put together the work list, and I got the full work list ready for you. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh
my god.
Oh my god. That's a long list. Oh god.
That is
Okay.
This is my heap of chores.
All right,
long list.
I'm gonna read this. Clean the fort 8 days. Clean the fort. Clean the fort. Approach road 8 days. Clean the fort courtyard 8 days. Great hall 8 days. Roof 8 days. PCs succeeded at rebuild collapsed stairs. Clean the fort. Okay, so there's that's a requirement. Once we get all that done, we can clear out the dungeon. 8 more days. The PC succeeded at excavating the stairs. There's the ruined barracks. Another 8 days. There's the cleanse the Olgothian shrine. 6 days. Oh my God! Once we do that, we can hire a sage, and there's the Clef's watchtower. 6 days. There's a lot. There's
John.
there's,
This is the Property Brothers adventure. We're in the Home and Garden Network.
Yeah,
we're doing a remodel.
This old house, if you want to go back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
writings 6 days. There's stairs below Great Hall 12.
All
days.
I know is this definitely needs an open plan kitchen. That is all I know.
That's
But halfway
open
through, they're
plan.
going to tell us they need some more money for that kitchen. So we're going to,
Yeah, that's how they do.
and
Contractors.
then we don't get our cleansed Ogothian shrine.
Yeah, this is a lot. This is more than 150 gold. I'm thinking like the outer wall is 18 days. There's the collapsed stairs again. It's 12
I like
days.
secretly plant the whisper lilies. I like that.
And
Yeah.
I do like how there's like we finish one thing, it unlocks the ability to do another.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's forget about the 4-5 stages of unlocking things. And we're looking at immediately 32 days of working on the road, the courtyard, the Great Hall, and the roof. The road, I think we can pass on. I mean,
I'm not entirely clear on exactly how these boxes get checked, though. Like what mechanically has to occur.
If this is anything like I'm thinking it might be, I think that every time one of us works on something, that clicks off one of these days. So if all 5 of us worked on it, that'd be 5 days checked off. And if we can get the farmhand and the youngins to help out, that might get us some more days checked off, and
Right.
maybe we can
Some
hire
other
some
people.
more help.
Yeah, we can hire.
Yeah, it
the
might be like a
stone.
man days thing.
Yeah, we gonna get our
Right.
hands dirty.
All right,
Oh,
and
man.
I don't know if we want to do this now or what, but I made a point of spending a lot of time getting to know that family to find out what they're actually useful for. Do I have an answer for that could be applied to this problem? Like I know their comp. For example, I would know that the mother is competent at being a maid, and so she can clean the fort, and the man actually is a carpenter, so he's useful for this. Like, do I know anything about that about the family, or they sound like they're just unskilled workers and they're useless and there's really no help from them? Like, do I know answers
You
to
know
any of
that they have no specialties whatsoever, and only the parents could help out. The kids could not. So at most, the 2 of them would be able to help you out. And probably what you'll need to do is go around town and find out if there's any other specialties such as carpenters, sage, stonemasons.
Right, we know that there are already.
Right, you know of that.
Right,
and
right,
you're going to
right.
have to convince them or talk to them and figure out who you want to get help. But you figure that you each would be able to run a team of no more than 3 people. So at most, you can use 4 people at a time, you and 3 others, to try to progress on something.
I see.
So-
Okay, so we have the part. So our maximum workforce is the party plus maybe like a maximum of 3 or something.
Well, 3 per person.
Oh, per person.
Oh,
Per person.
yes.
So each of you can handle 3. So if you do the math,
So it's
3
like
times
20.
5, that's 25
Right.
man days a day. So that's
And
a lot.
These are 8-day increments, so we can get a ton done.
Yeah, you can
in
get a lot
just
done.
a couple days.
Now, of course, you need to actually make the rolls, and depending
Spend the
on how
gold.
rolls and spend the gold, because people are going to require money
Spend the gold,
All right.
yeah.
to
So-
hire them.
Okay, so let me run through an example just to make sure I have an understanding of we have an understanding of the mechanics. So let's take, for example, cleanse, because this is something that we might be able to actually do in an interesting way. Cleanse the Urgathoan shrine. Religion, so it requires somebody being trained in religion. Is that what that religion means?
Correct.
Okay. And so it's 6 man days. And so it takes 6 man days to accomplish. The requirements.
This is
succeeded-
cool.
The PC succeeded in decipher ancient writings, and you've trained, and you're trained in religion, or hired a sage. So what I read from that is, if we amongst us, we have this decipher ancient writings skill, or something like that, and we succeeded in a skill check for that. That would satisfy that requirement. Somebody here is trained in religion, which
That's me. I'm trained in
one
that.
of them is that satisfies that
Mr.
requirement.
Peepers,
So
right
for
here.
that, we would not necessarily have to hire a sage if we could decipher the ancient writings. Chris could be on that. Chris could be on that with 3 people. That's 4 people, and so that would mean it would be done. That would mean with the correct checks, that could be accomplished 6 days, 4, 1 for each person, plus 2 more. So like a day and a half or whatever.
Correct. So what would happen is you need someone who leads it, and you can either lead it yourself as the PC, or you can hire, if no one had religion, which is possible, you would have to find a sage, hire them, and then they can take the lead, and then everyone else
That is
helps
so
them.
cool. That is so cool.
So only one person needs to take the lead. So for example, there's a lot of crafting in here, as you can see. So you need people who are trained in crafting
Right
to
here.
actually, but some of them have to be experts, not just trained.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, it says
Not
experts in
here.
crafting.
Not
Right, right. So you either, some say you have to be trained or you have to be an expert in that skill. And if you aren't that, then you have to find someone to hire them, and then you can be part of their work crew. And so it would be, you only need one. So
I
that
don't think
work
any of us
crew
are an expert in
4
anything, to be honest.
I know that's really frustrating.
I
It's like we
actually
need
am an expert in something.
Well, there's a lot of crafting, and there's some that you're trained, like repairing the barracks and repairing the well. You just need to be trained. But some of the more complex ones, like rebuilding this battlements, that you need an expert,
So
or
we
you,
pay some
or
guy
you
for
hire a
it.
carpenter.
Hey,
you
Right,
hire
right,
a
right.
carpenter.
Luckily,
Yeah, we
we
hire
know the
special-
rate of these guys. It's like 1 silver a day. So that's like, you
Oh,
know.
it's going to be a little bit more than 1
Oh,
silver a
hold
day.
on. I don't see.
Yeah,
oh,
we got-
yeah,
oh,
yeah, that's
yeah.
not negotiable. That's not negotiable.
we know what the rate is. Come on.
Seth's
It
going to intimidate
costs-
them to get a better price.
Yeah,
That
no,
actually
that
will
is
be
that
on-
is not.
if you
that's
mess
not
up
what-
the
no,
intimidation,
that's not what I'm
you-
gonna do.
You lose them forever.
Like no, no. Like that.
So
That's
that
good.
actually
Like
could go very
like
badly.
like that intimidation. That is useful if somebody's trying to pull some shenanigans on. If they're gonna try to pull some shenanigans and we're kind of pushing back, it's kind of useful for that one interaction. But basically, it compels somebody immediately, and then they're your enemy. From then on.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, they won't do it. It's actually not that much. It's 3 gold per day to hire 3 villagers per PC. So it's 1 gold per day per villager. That's what it's going to cost.
All right, we can sell. We can afford that.
And wait, and what about the husband and wife?
One
Like
gold per day.
Okay, so they're
Everyone's
just
the same.
So they're
Everyone's
just
the
people
same.
that we have a relationship with. Like we didn't
Yeah.
get anything better by
No, and they just have no skills. So they are just an additional workforce. There's a lot of people with no skills.
Can
And
we
you
wire the Black Lodge for more money?
You have 147 gold pieces.
Oh my god, that's just not enough.
Well, you better figure something out, or you have to. You don't cost anything.
Yeah,
That's true.
You might want to be very careful how you use your people and your own skill
That's
sets.
true. We shouldn't spend gold if we don't need to. Like, there's no time limit for this. We have a month to get this done. And honestly, these 8-hour tasks, yeah, we basically are holding the place for a month. And these 8-day tasks between us, that's just like 2 days. And there's not that much stuff.
You know, in the cloud castles of the Dwarven kingdoms, we used to work 27-hour days, by the way.
Huh.
So get used to that.
Easy to pull off when you can't see the sunset.
Yeah, this looks great, but it really looks like one person offline with a pen and paper just takes a little bit of time and figures this math problem out. You know, like we have a certain amount of money. There's a certain number of things that have to be done in a certain sequence, and then certain things we have to hire people for, and we could kind of like reduce this whole problem down to a couple of individual problems that are basically based on which, like the stonemason we have to hire, like which individual experts we have to hire for certain things in order to get stuff done.
Right.
All right, so for next time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna I think next time it's gonna be a lot of figuring this out. Like, it's like repair the barracks. 12 days. Requirements you have to do to clean the fort. All right, so what's clean the fort? Clean the fort is clean the fort barracks. Clean the fort barracks. Clean the fort ruin barracks. That just takes 8 days, no requirement. So okay, so that's gonna be 8 days. We could do that. Then that'll unlock the ability to repair the barracks. Repair the barracks is that plus train and crafting.
Well, I know what you're doing.
That's 12 days.
Seth, I know what you're doing over the next couple of days.
Yeah, it's all
putting
that.
together the worksheet. I can figure it out.
I'm not doing this offline.
Oh, okay, you're not going to do it offline.
No. We got to negotiate it.
Okay. Well, anyhow, this is the worksheet. You go through your Warcraft lore, you come up with this whole list, and you're like, holy moly, this is a lot of work to fix this thing up.
They call this the money pit.
It's good. Basically, it's going to be a money pit. Yes.
And there's an Easter egg. Secret plant whisper lilies special.
Yeah,
I like that.
Local special.
Like
I'm going to do this offline just to get a ballpark.
Nice. Go for it, John.
That's smart. Good. Yeah.
Honestly, you could do this on a napkin. This isn't that tough. This isn't tough. Like when I do this, it says clean the roof 8 days. Like this isn't actually sequential from top to bottom. Is that what I'm seeing?
It's not. Okay. It hops around.
Okay.
It hops around.
I might just reorder this. So
yeah, do the low hanging fruit first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't want to pay people. So
because
to
the
stand
only
around.
also one more thing I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
That is just what it costs.
I know there's material.
To hire the people. You got materials. You got permits. You're gonna okay. You don't have the permits, but there are materials costs and certain things like cleansing that shrine. You're probably going to need some rare incense and offerings, and they ain't going to be cheap. I guarantee that.
Nella, since you're the expert, can you clear a hectare worth of lumber from us for the forest?
When did I become an expert in lumber clearing?
1 hectare.
John,
What?
I see one of the tasks is it requires clean the fort Great Hall, but if we clean the Great Hall, we can do excavate stairs below the Great Hall.
Yeah, there's
that might open up a dungeon, and that might be a nice break to go and explore.
This is going to be done in a flow chart. It's actually is what it's going to be do. It's gated.
And there could be some treasure we could
tasks.
put towards the if we need more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There might be something like that. Like we dig something out and that reveals something.
I'll be
Like
using
excavate the
Microsoft
stairs below the Great
for
Hall
this.
because
This
that
is
is
gonna be
dungeon
perfect.
level.
Yeah, you're gonna have a cool. I'll post to you guys, and even on the website if you want, I'll make a little flow chart for this. This is actually really cool. Honestly, this is a cliffhanger for a
Yeah, it is
level
kind of.
designer. This is awesome. So I'm super stoked. This
Oh
is
God,
exciting.
John is like going to lose his mind. Actually,
I am.
Repair the well.
John.
What might be at the bottom of that well if we repair the
yeah.
well?
Because I see right now through this, there's paths. This is basically a tree.
Yeah.
It's
it
a
is.
talent tree that we're unlocking, and we're
It
going
is.
to burrow down into one way or another. But I'm going to organize it so we can see the tail end to prioritize things.
That's awesome.
Because
That'd be wonderful if you
unlocking
could do
one
that.
of these might make other tasks easier, is what I'm hoping for. Like,
So silly. So
That's
silly.
great. No, that's great.
I mean,
That's
that would
the
be a way to
it.
do
That's
it.
smart.
This is a whole genre of games that I now want to start playing. This is
Yeah,
what
that's
this is.
smart.
I swear to God,
Yeah, it's
this
fun.
is.
Enjoy.
I'm putting down the
Well, you know what?
rules
Those
for
lit,
Pathfinder, and
those
I'm now
lit
playing this
RPG
game.
books that we read.
Yeah,
that's
this
what
is
they all they
Dungeon
do.
Core. This
Yeah,
is Dungeon
all
Core
they
right
do.
now.
Yeah,
This is a Dungeon Core genre.
Yeah, they have books on how to do this, Seth. You should read the books John and I read. 'Cause that's all they
it's
are.
really it's pretty funny because coincidentally, a big aspect because we were talking about Animal Crossing, that game Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing actually has this mechanic a lot. One of it, like there are people that go so deep into because they have genetics in the flowers, and there's all kinds of genetics mechanics in the flowers. And so to unlock really cool flowers, you have to do so many steps that it's exactly like that tree. It's like plant this next to that. That's a 30% chance of this. This plus this equals that. Very
Isn't
much.
that a child's game?
Dude, it's very deep. You're right. It is a child's game, and every child in the United States should get this game because it actually teaches a lot of really good lessons.
How does the
and it's
quote
very
go?
good.
When I became an
boy.
adult, I put away the childish things.
Oh God, what are you talking
That's
about?
the man.
How many
Right
nights-
now.
how many nights a week do you
Pathfinder.
read?
I know.
We're playing some kind of
Whoa,
make-believe game with fucking orc dragons.
Wait. You play World of Warcraft more than all of
I
us.
know. Oh my God.
combined.
Oh my
Like,
God.
How old are those kids you play with
They're
the World
so
of
much
Warcraft?
younger. I have no idea how old I am.
That's really funny. That's really funny.
You're the old man. And when we
I
used to make
know.
fun
What is
of
that
those
Fortnite
people-
reference?
I know.
Fortnite is old.
I know. You don't have any idea.
I mean, they're talking
what the
about
hell
when
we're
Vanilla
talking
WoW
about.
come out. They're like 7 years old. I'm like, dude, I was like in my 30s.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really,
like
really
Vanilla
funny.
WoW. I know. Do you even mention John, or you're like, don't even bother?
I don't really know.
Yeah, because then you'll feel beyond old.
That's really funny.
You're like, oh yeah, when I was 8, or not even 8, it's like when I was 6, the WoW came out, and we were like the alpha testers on that
I know.
fucking game. Like, in our
I
30s.
named my character in the alpha or the beta for classic John Stats, and people were like, "Oh, they were coming up like, are you the real John?"
You're like, no, but we know him.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat Tales from the Black Lodge. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember, it's all fun and games until the healer runs out of spells.